This has to become a really important case for the International Police Association, who I'm going to contact. I'm going to contact lots of departments in respect to this month. The day before yesterday, I was purchasing myself tires. I would return back. The tires would be, everything was okay, everything was fine. Go through the tires on this car, on this bike, on this bicycle. The rear tire, it's actually like this. The rear tire, okay, the rear tire that you see is completely messed up tire. The idea was to purchase the rear tire, but the rear tire is not giving up on me. It's solid. It was the same thing with the front tire, which according to the gentleman who sold me, and it doesn't have nothing like this, was a new tire. Now what they did with these tires is they left them for quite some time outside so the sun would crack them. But the interesting part is that I would return back from the city. This is the tire, doesn't have absolutely any kind of cracks, anything. And buying these tires through the OLX, that's an online site in Poland, I purchased 2 of them in the evening. The first thing that happened to me, since I almost always lock the doors, it was the evening that the girl inside of this building where I'm staying right now, and this is the building where we were staying with the Polish police. This is a building totally controlled by the Polish police, this building here. This is along the Łódźka. We were staying in this building since 2003, 2004. We would come to this building here on a regular basis. This is a building that you can never go mistaken about. There is no way. Some people go way back to this building here that I met, building manager and so on. All through they are claiming they're new here and stuff like this. About the same thing like on a location prior to this one, and I know exactly who is new and who was not. You know, this is the building that I have explained that you would think when it's sunny here, when you come out of the door here, you would think it's like you're really somewhere in the US, I don't know, in Arizona or New Mexico or something like this. I mean, the flat tops of the buildings here remind on Miami, and architecture itself, look at this. You know, the way this is done, it's done in such a way that when you walk out, you don't see it. You don't see it. You don't see it's lean. The edge is not visible really. It's been like this since from forever. And you cannot go wrong with this building, folks. It's just building that you would not forget about, never ever. On top of that, there's a whole bunch of other issues that are involved in it. Some of which I will discuss today, some of which I will not discuss yet, because I am doing a very thorough investigation in respect to this whole case. It's a big case that was designed, the MK Ultra was designed in a way that you would come with certain news, literally bury yourself on the rocks. Okay, so as I returned back the day before yesterday from the city, this tire was completely okay. Everything was nice, fine. I go to the internet and I do a money transfer from my online account, banking account, to the gentleman who would sell me the new tires. And I leave the paper, a yellow paper, on the bed where I was. Now this is a very little tiny room. It doesn't have 10 square meters. Not even 10 square meters. Maybe this is room, I don't know. Just maybe 4 times 3 or something. Yeah, it does have, maybe. I have no idea. It's a tiny little room. Really probably does not have 10 square meters, I would say. Leave the paper on the bed, step out on the toilet, in the kitchen, whatever I did, or in the toilet or in the kitchen. It was the same evening the girl would tell me to lock the door, watch out, lock the door, watch out, lock the door. I would come back inside, the paper would be gone, meaning that when we were here under MK Ultra, Chris from Colorado was here with me. This is where we would spend time here. I'm going to come to that a little bit. In a little bit I'm going to come to that issue. They would play with these cameras. They would have a complete surveillance. Now I know that they did have it in the kitchen. They might have that in the toilet. I don't know. But I am asking myself, how the hell did person knew that I left such an important paper, that's basically with an ID and with a password, on my bed, and the second that I stepped out, he would go inside and took it, whoever that was. This is amazing. How would you know if you would not have literally cameras inside of the room? I don't know. The Polish police, this building here is wired straight to the Polish headquarters. The next morning I spent about 5 hours looking back and forth, turning around bed when I would wake up. I did not leave any place. I stayed inside. In the morning I woke up. Before, of course, the main thing is to place my paper back inside of the wallet. However, the paper did not exist anywhere in the room. Couldn't find that paper the same night. Paper did not even exist in the room. The next morning, turn bed upside down. I have video recording about that, about the whole room. I totally turned around, went back and forth. 0 point nothing. Nothing. Okay. Came downstairs to go to the bank sometimes in afternoon, already like 3 o'clock, something like this. Come outside of the building, I found this thing here. So somebody knew that I'm buying the tires. The bicycle, ever since, I did not even move one. It's right here. It's staying right here. I put it on this block here so they can see it. I don't know if I did demonstrate this or not. I am not sure if I did demonstrate it or not. If I did talk about this or not yet. This is what happened to my it's like a wire that you can use to hang out the clothing, and this wire does have several wires like this inside, and this wire was hanged like this with the wire you can see on the other end right there. This was all I placed here so I could dry clothing, and so other people could also dry clothing. I want you to see this thing here, and hopefully you can, yeah, you can see it. One of the wires that was there, if you can, it's twisted in such a way, like into a spine, that is lurking out of this thing here. You cannot see it, but it's like a thorn. See? You see how it's grabbing my finger? Okay, it's like a thorn. I have the original video of what this thing did to me. He stripped off the wire, the protection cord from the wire. He cut these wires on the inside and made it like a thorn like this, and placed clothing over this wire for drying clothing. And when I removed this clothing batting that he had, was very light. I was going to put one on the side because it was dry and hang my own stuff on it. I would just go and make a bruise like this, big bruise, like across the whole palm. I have a video recording about that stuff. This is the kind of stuff now basically we're dealing at this beautiful place. This is what this is, and there is some other stuff that was related straight to the place here, where you would go and you would register yourself, your residence, your place of stay, according to the Polish law. This is what you have to do. And I have already talked about how they hang these Gestapo IDs of the Polish people which they had to possess them during the Second World War. Germans would give the Poles their IDs, and they would have to wear them, have them at all the time. And of course they were subject to humiliation. All kinds of stuff happened, I understand that, but the stuff I'm going to talk about, yeah, under MK Ultra, this is what I had to do. They took me to this Gmina office here in the city. The same ladies that worked there subjected me to MK Ultra humiliation. I had to see those, you see this, you see this, and this and that. I have spoken about this stuff already. I went to the Gmina the other day when I rented a place like this. Look at this. Look what this place looks like. When the sun comes out like this, I'm not gonna forget when I was brought here and we would come out of this building, and totally looks like you would be somewhere, I don't know, really in Arizona or something like this, and you have Americans with you. You have no idea where you are. Confusing. You're just reminded here and there about other people that are around. You go around, you don't know where you go, what you're doing, whatever. Just giving you an impression about this whole thing. Okay. Do you see this? Do you see this? Do you see this? Okay, so I guess that I am getting, me evil neo-Nazi or whatever, I'm getting a taste of what it was in Poland during the World War II, but I think they have a completely wrong person, and the person who did this, who steered all these things, is the god. They don't even dare to say his name, really. That's the one in the Washington DC, sitting right there in the White House right now. That was the one who kept bringing me here to upset people, to do his business, to do his dealings through the stuff like this for no less than 17 years. No, actually for more than that, from 98 all the way to 2017. This was this thing, okay, so what happened with this, who took that paper with banking information, and who did this stuff here? Forget about all other stuff I have spoken about. We'll confirm this. Now, the best part, this one here, yesterday the glasses came. They were packed like this. They were packed like this. They were packed like this. This is how they were packed, like this, cracked. You could see it open from both sides like this. Those glasses, they were from China. They came like this. I looked inside, and the biggest problem was that when I looked at the glasses like this, especially with my glasses that I cannot even see it, to me they look good. Everything looked good. When you see it like this quickly, it looks good. Everything looks fine. You see one, they're in one piece, they look good. But today I paid a little bit attention to it. I pay a little closer attention to this stuff, and what I learn about is basically they are completely banned. So there is somebody at this crazy postal office, if it's not the police alone that did this stuff, because they have the police that comes and they check and they see and they open this stuff and they go through and then they do and they cut and they twist and they do whatever the hell they want to do, just like a bosses, you know, like a people that basically own that kind of stuff, people that pay for it. They do it like this here in Poland. That's what the police does here. That's what they're here for. So they can open and they can twist and they can bend and they can go like this and have people slash your tires and stuff like this. Very, very useful people, I'll tell you. And they also are here across the street, and they will not notice you when you go across the street. I have forgotten the expression for where you cross the street when you're not supposed to. And they let you get away without giving you a fine and stuff like this. So you're really a lucky dude in this whole process, okay? Really lucky. You see this shit here? Lucky is what you are. I'm not going to go into other issues that were done. So when you look this from a little bit up closer, no, Chinese did not do this. Nobody did this stuff. And it's something I am going to talk to the people from China about this stuff. It seems about the same situation like in this crazy Slovenia, that you would just order the stuff from the internet so you could keep up with causing yourself a damage, basically. That's how they see it. That's basically how they see it. I noticed that something was wrong with the glasses when I placed them on and these things would not fit. Then I started to pay attention really to what exactly is going on. Is it, and you can see that this is not even, the bridge is not even with that. It's all twisted, curled around. This is not what I paid. Then I noticed here also on the side, and I cannot see, you know, the problem is this thing here, because with this thing, look what this looks like. When you look through these glasses, you cannot see anything. And these glasses are very strong. They are 3.53. And this is what basically messed me up, this stuff. This is the stuff that messed me up. But you can see that that pliers were used clearly to curve the frames. There are still you can see traces of the pliers that they left. You can see right there, for instance, this is the pliers that were used to bend the frames, basically. I don't know how much you can see it, but this is what it looks like when you use them. This was done by the pliers. I don't even have pliers, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even own pliers. And here on the side, let me see, you can see it there too. Yeah, you can see where the screw comes here. If you pay attention to this, where the screw is, you're gonna see like a little, you're gonna see like stuff like this. You can see it. Scratch, basically, but this is really, this stuff is from the pliers. Somebody was playing with the pliers. I don't know how much you can see it. So this was delivery of the 2 pairs of frames from the China. Bit miserable. Let me see this stuff here. You gotta see this stuff here. They also twisted this. Find it quite amazing that these people are so angry. They are such angry people. It is just so angry. But in a little bit more, you're gonna understand just how angry they are. They are more than just angry. I feel sorry for them that they are just so angry. That Polish police is so angry that they cannot handle their emotions. They cannot handle their whatever issues they have. This is clearly curved. Whatever they have done to it. This is curved. You know what these glasses are? Why I bought these glasses? These glasses are titanium made. These are titanium made glasses. These are titanium made glasses. They do not perform like this unless you take a pliers in your hands and you do what you see here. And what you see here, this is what I have found under the bed, inside of the bed. For the first time I opened the bed. What you see right here. And it is just as I was promised. would be left by someone. This was not a Chris. Chris was with me in this building many times. In a little bit I'm gonna go to that issue. But this is related to someone who also was with us, and someone who owns, I believe, top secret company. That gentleman was involved in this MK Ultra. They did have all kinds of people, they would watch these things. You can see here the name of the company that this shirt was produced is Top Secret. They used to call me Troll here in Poland. The gentleman who owns Top Secret owned Troll Company before this one, and he made a story that he registered Troll Company and then he opened a company Top Secret and made a story that Top Secret, this is what they think this thing is here in this town, ate Troll. That's basically me. A little bit not so humorous when I tell you the rest of the story, the way they see it here in Poland, this thing. You're gonna be quite horrified about their views on trolls and stuff like this. Western Wyoming, wild area, park, in Rocky Mountains, where I have spent time with Chris from Colorado. Chris from Colorado got a trip to Rocky Mountains, to this Western Wyoming park, as a reward from his supposedly his father, Donald Trump. That's what supposedly was. We would go on a trip and we would stay there for some time with Chris, then we would return to Poland. Right here behind there is some stuff I don't even want to talk about right now, but there also is forest, and in that forest we have spent considerable amount with Chris. It might sound to you a little bit crazy. I'm just gonna go upstairs right now. Just go upstairs and we will continue from upstairs and we'll explain why the whole thing. For the beginning, those buildings that you see right there, supposedly according to MK Ultra, in one of those buildings, if I properly remember, I'm not going to even say which one, something I should not even talk about, whatever. There is this psychologist, I understand, I was interested in, and I was brought here for several years. First time sometimes in 2004, something like this, 2004, 2005, whatever. Look, there is still a lock right there, just as I was told it would be promised in 2015. Ukrainian who is here left one right there. The room right there, still the same one, with what you see right there, still the same thing. This is impossible, I would forget this place here. Through here you would go straight to those buildings right there, and Americans would go through here to the park at work. Already in 2010, 2008 they would walk through here, they would go straight to the park, basically to the company where I work right now is where they would go. Behind these buildings there is a forest, and this is the forest where I have spent with Chris considerable amount of time, because Americans did not only go and ruin my possibilities, the possibility of stay in Poland, in apartment complexes, inside of the, in residential home areas, but they made an effort to leave their marks, psychological marks on me, even inside of the local forest. Remember, I was told, incited, and I have proof about that stuff, to purchase vehicle here, to live inside of the forest. Police have stolen the documents, the driver's license, refused to get ability to register myself at the local office, but brainwash on how I should purchase the vehicle, leave one at the parking lot at some place and put at least my clothing inside, leave inside of the local forest. Now just imagine if I would go ahead and do the stuff like this, what exactly they would do with me, how they would play with, you know, if I would go about and really go and purchase through the black market apartment registration and so on. Guys who did this kind of stuff under MK Ultra, they would not even have letters delivered and so on. It was all kinds of stuff. It was done to them. But the worst thing that would happen to me, and they example me here how I'm gonna be and my car is gonna be parked and stuff like this, all kinds of situations, how it's gonna be the parking lot and involve the parking lots here, what I should do to save the money and so on. The worst part is that the government can play with your ID. Imagine this, you give them a capacity, waiting for the driver license to be basically transferred to your whatever location, giving them, leaving them at mercy yourself whenever they would give you the driver license, whatever they would issue a driver license, whenever it would be, they would want to do it and so on. Under circumstances like this would be like a suicide. And I think the car that I would purchase would become like a free place to go pick up the parts, I think. Thinking about what they were doing with the cars Americans have purchased during their work hours, which they demonstrated me. The lady in Ostronia, where I was in Grotnikih, insisted on do not buy the car, actually exampled me. It's like you would be somewhere like in Arizona or something like that. Like you don't know, you would know really where you are at. I mean, look at those plants, how they look like, and that's basically all you get to see here. She had eventually her car changed, claiming that the whole bottom of the car, the engine, had fallen down when she was driving the car, trying to remind me desperately of what went on basically when Americans were here. It was a crazy stuff, and I feel really good about not buying, not making a mistake that I would really live somewhere in the forest, waiting for the driver license basically to come. And that was the idea of this Polish police. They would completely drive me nuts if I would go about that kind of stuff. I'll let this be a video part 1, and I'm gonna go in a little bit. I'm gonna go now to the part number 2 so I can explain a little bit more about these issues. This should be interesting for the police. I find it extremely inappropriate that you would go, and the second, this is where I was right here, this is where the paper was left. The second I would go out, just on the toilet or in the kitchen, this thing would disappear from me basically. I find this crazy, insane stuff. I find this as super inappropriate, totally inappropriate stuff. And I object to that. I'm asking international authorities to get involved in this stuff. These things are not okay. It's not okay to do this like this with the glasses. This is my property. It's actually really personal when it comes to glasses, glass frames. And it's marked like this. These are the marks that are left on my glasses literally by the police. Believe me, not by the postal workers, but by the people who inspect the stuff before I get one even in my hands. If you want to go forward with it, we can continue. And here is the keyboard I have purchased in order to, I'm going to post this online, it doesn't matter, in order to replace one on my computer. The thing is that the keyboard, which was marked for the model of my computer, eMachines G725, this is about this longer than the keyboard I have. And it was basically deliberately wrongly marked, and it was used literally to target me here in Poland. Literally, this is not one company. There will be one seller, but there was many sellers that marketed falsely this product as the product for my computer on Allegro. This is a big company, Allegro, and this is what was done right here in Poland. Now I'm stranded with wrong keyboard because of the sellers. And so what you see here, they're like buying time for somebody. They're doing this kind of stuff that I'm thinking about. If I would have my places stay registered, I would have a capacity to open also my own company. I would start to do my own money. I would start to do my own stuff. And instead of that, somebody's buying time to somebody. Somebody's just delaying deliberately. Somebody was purchased here in Poland, so he can do the dirty stuff for someone else against me. These are bad things that are happening, folks. One thing follow another, and it's almost everything you buy through the internet. It comes in a form of destroyed items, modified items, or you don't get what you order, and so on. Bad things are happening. This should be interesting for international police. And when it comes to international police, let's just go to the part number 2 of this video. I don't even know how I would brand this video anymore. The thing is that whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you purchase through the internet, whatever it is that you do, it does not come. It doesn't happen. It's either physically destroyed or is switched with something else, or whatever it is that you do is just exactly what you see right here. Let's go to part number 2 of this video.